As you guys can see at the top left corner, I am emulating Pokemon Sword on my Android device inside of Nyushu Emulator, and we are getting more than 150 FPS. Let's get started. Yo, what's up guys, it's ApTreX here. After waiting for some time, we finally have the brand new Nyushu Emulator Android version 9 update, which was released just 2 to 3 days ago, and in today's video we'll be trying it out on our Android devices. Here's the changelog of Nyushu Emulator version 9, as you'll be able to see fixed stability performance, add new settings, added fast memory, active CPU debugging, dock mode will now not be active, remove resolution 0.3, and this version of Nyushu that we'll be testing out in today's video is going to be the Antutu build of version 9. We'll be seeing exactly how well does this brand new version of Nyushu Emulator work compared to the Sudachi Emulator Android, which is also one of the most stable Nintendo Switch emulators for Android. With that being said, let's get started. Now the setup of Nyushu Emulator is just like the Sudachi Emulator Android. Once it has been completed, you will notice that entire brand new theming has been done in Nyushu Emulator. All the themes, accents have been changed completely, which gives it a very nice look, and I'll be completely honest guys, this is one of the best looking Nintendo Switch emulators out there with all the theming and customizations. It makes the Nyushu Emulator very unique. But not just that guys, Nyushu Emulator uses the Antutu benchmark build, which means that you will get the best amount of performance compared to any other Nintendo Switch emulators for Android out there, as it is capable of utilizing the full potential of your Android device. Anyways, let's just go to the theme and color and try out the dark theme, and you will be able to notice even dark theme has been modified in a brand new UI, which looks very cool. So huge props to Nyushu Emulator team for paying such attention to theme and coloring. With that being said, let's start applying the best settings. So if we go to advanced settings, we can now go to system settings and set the limit speed percent to 400, or you can disable limit speed percentage completely. If we go to the graphics section, here you will be able to see we get resolutions up to 0.5x. so the lowest resolutions like 0.25x have been removed for compatibility reasons. We'll go with 0.75x resolution. VSync will turn it off, and in terms of VRAM usage mode, keep it at aggressive. NVIDIA emulation, set it to GPU or CPU depending on your Android device. We'll go with GPU. Once that has been done, anisotropic filtering, set it to none. Aspect ratio will set it to stretch to window. Force maximum clocks and asynchronous shaders have been enabled. Once all of that has been done, we can simply go back and open the debug settings, where you'll be able to see a setting known as shader mode. We get 3 options: GLSL, SPRV as well as GLASM. We'll go with the default shader mode. CPU backend is native code execution. Fast memory has been turned on. CPU accuracy is set to auto. We can now add our custom graphics driver. So there we go, I have imported the Mesa Turnip Adreno driver revision 11. Once that has been done, we are all done with the best settings of Nyushu Emulator Android. So what are we waiting for? Let's start testing out some games right away. The first game that we'll be trying out in Nyushu Emulator is going to be Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Immediately after opening the game, you will be able to see that the on-screen touch controls look pretty amazing. If I had to rate the theming, it has to be 10 out of 10. Like, the developers have been very creative with the theming of Nyushu Emulator, and it really makes a change compared to the other folk versions of emulators. And there we go guys, our game is about to start, and I am very excited to see how well will this game actually work. Not just Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but we'll also be testing out few more games later on in this video. But there we go, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has successfully started, and if you are noticing some lines on the screen, then it is due to my camera issues. Don't mind it. Let me just go ahead and accept everything. Afterwards, we'll just go ahead and tap on new game and create a brand new game with normal difficulty. And as you guys can see, our game has successfully started. So let me just go ahead and skip this cutscene. And here we go guys, just like when I tested out Sudachi Emulator on my low-end Android device, there are some graphical issues. So we are getting or seeing red graphic textures, which can be fixed by changing the graphics driver to your system default graphics driver. And at the top left corner, I am seeing 30 FPS, but to be honest, what I am seeing right now almost feels like 60 FPS. So I'm not really sure if the FPS bar is lying or not. Let me just go ahead and go to the system settings, and yeah, limit speed percentage has been turned off. So we should definitely be getting more than 30 FPS, but still the FPS is showing us 30. So it is what it is. Let's just go ahead and exit this game and try out our next game, which is going to be Pokemon Sword. This is a high-end title right away. I want to test it out and see if it works well or not. I am hoping that I should definitely be getting like 100 plus FPS while emulating this game, or else Nyushu Emulator is not that great. So let's find out if the game really works well or not. At the top left corner, you will be able to see if we are getting about 88 FPS and our game has successfully started. Now let me skip this cutscene and I'll be back. And there we go guys, our game has successfully started, and as I mentioned previously, we are getting 156 FPS FPS, so definitely more than 100 FPS, as I like to call it, a very amazing gameplay experience. But I am also interested to see how much FPS can we get once we exit the house. So now that we have exited our house, you'll be able to see that the FPS doesn't fall that down. We are still getting anywhere from 70 to 80 FPS, which is very major. Like compared to all the other Nintendo Switch emulators, including Sudachi Emulator, this is better FPS 100%. But what I am noticing is that my device is getting a little hot, to be honest. So this emulator is indeed utilizing the full potential of my Android device, and that's why we are seeing such amazing FPS while emulating Pokemon Sword on our Android devices. So do let me know in the comment section down below which one do you prefer better, Sudachi or Nyushu Emulator on your Android devices, and should I do a detailed comparison video testing out both of these emulators on my Android device with games that you want me to test out in the comment section down below. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video though. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notification. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.